The old ways of managing email are dead. With the number of messages that you and I receive combined with AI bots now spamming us with even more content, it is more difficult than ever to focus on what messages you need to be looking at. So, how can you ignore 80% of your emails so you can focus on the messages that are actually critical and deserve your attention? In this video, I'm going to show you how. As we take a look at this inbox together, it is incredibly difficult to determine what I should be focusing my attention on and what is simply just noise. Now, when I think of my email, I think we can break things down into three different categories: critical, operational, and noise. Critical are those things that are specific to the way you work, specific to your business. It could be revenue related. It could be specific to clients that you are dealing with. Operational are things that are perhaps more admin activities. These could be updates. It could be project progress. It could be other things that you want to keep an eye on, but you don't necessarily need to know about right now. And then the overwhelming number of our messages have become noise. They are newsletters. They are promotions for any app or tool that we sign up for. We are getting more and more updates along the way, and that can be incredibly difficult for us to manage. Now, in the past, I would typically recommend that you create a filter. Filters are relatively easy to create. You can create them directly from an email themselves. So for example, if I open up this email here, I can come up here and say filter messages like these, and it's going to identify the sender and filter those messages going forward. However, do you want to be creating new filters for every single one of the new services that you sign up for or for things that you no longer want to receive? And then you have to manage additional filters or add new email addresses, new senders to those filters. And that can be a burden as well. No joke, not too long ago, I helped a client who was managing over 500 different unique filters. That was incredibly taxing for him to manage and actually started to slow down his email system altogether. Now, I don't want to knock filters altogether because for many people it may be helpful. But the important thing to remember is that filters is a manual process. You have to get engaged. You have to manage and update those filters constantly. So if one of the big problems for all of the messages we're receiving today is because of AI and AI bots automatically sending us stuff, why don't we fight fire with fire and use AI to not only clean up our inbox, but make it that much more easier to manage going forward. And for that, we are going to use a tool called SaneBox. Now, you've heard me talk about SaneBox before in the past. Now, SaneBox has been around for a long time, and that's a good thing. They're not the new kid on the block. They didn't just drum up some code and say, we think this is how email should be managed. They have evolved and improved over time and are now using AI to make their service even better. And based on their studies, SaneBox users spend an average of 3 to 4 hours less per week managing their emails. That's half a workday. Wouldn't you rather be using those 3 to 4 hours to be doing something more productive or useful rather than managing all of your email? So let's dive in and let me show you how SaneBox can help you ignore 80% of your messages. Now, when you first sign up to SaneBox, the first thing it's going to do is actually go through and analyze all of your messages. It's going to actually filter every single message. Now, don't worry. Nothing is going to be deleted. There's only going to be a small handful of categories in which it's going to place everything. But the best thing of all is it's going to learn from your behavior. As you continue to manage your inbox over the next few weeks, it's going to learn what you pay attention to, what you open, what you don't, what you delete, what you ignore, and get better and better and better at filtering out your messages. So you can, again, focus on only what is most relevant to you. For example, when I started the SaneBox filtering process on my inbox here, I had over 1,000 messages in my inbox. That's already been reduced to just over 300. And down below, you can see that it is creating some new categories for me. Sane Later and Sane News. Now, you can probably already tell by these simple titles what types of messages are being put in there. Sane Later, it thinks that I might want to look at these things, but they're not urgent. I don't need to look at them right now or even today. I can go back at a later time and review. And then Sane News, as you can probably assume, are things that are like publications. They are newsletters. There might be some updates mixed into there as well. But again, it's going through everything that's currently in my inbox and making smart decisions as to where things should be placed. If I go back to my SaneBox dashboard, it's even going to suggest some things that I can send to the Sane BlackHole. Now, what the heck is that? Well, don't worry, it's not going to delete it immediately, but the Sane BlackHole are types of things that you might want to block, things that you never look at or haven't looked at for many, many weeks, possibly even months. So, am I pestered by some annoying email? Yeah, who isn't? So I'm going to view their suggestions, and what it's going to do, it's going to bring back a number of candidates. So it says that we've found 25 potential candidates for you to send to the Sane BlackHole. The great thing here is that I don't have to jump into my Gmail account, into my Outlook account, into my Apple Mail account, and go through my emails one by one. It has grouped everything together. So I can clearly see the sender, right? Who is sending this information? In this case, this is coming from Zoom. Here's if this, then that. I can clearly see, and it's even giving me the title of some of the most recent emails. So it's, again, refreshing my memory in terms of what exactly, who is sending me this information and what are some of those titles. Is there something in here that I do want to see or that I want to save for later? I can, but if I do want to block some of these senders, I just need to select the checkbox beside some of these, and then I will never get an update from them again. They will never appear in my inbox. I'm going to hit block for senders. It's going to do the work for me. Now, at this point, you may be asking yourself, how do these new SaneBox labels different from filters that you've already created? Well, the biggest difference is this. These filters are going to learn from my behavior over time. For example, if I want to put messages from Google in my Sane Later folder, I can just click and drag and put it in Sane Later. But you know what it's just learned? It's learned that I've dragged something from Google, from that particular address, into that filter, into that folder. So it's going to learn over time. I may need to drag one more of those similar types of messages into Sane Later, but I'm not going to have to do that each and every time. It's going to learn from my behavior what I like, what I don't like, and continue to refine what I see or what I don't see here in my inbox. And of course, we can go into any one of our SaneBox folders here and bring things back as well. So if it does happen to catch something, particularly in that first week or two, you can train it if you want it to appear in your inbox and have it there for you to read and review. So if you're sick and tired of being overwhelmed by email, perhaps today is the day. If you use the link included in the description down below, you can sign up to SaneBox for a free trial and you'll get a $25 credit towards a SaneBox subscription if you choose to use the service. Just go to try.sanebox.com/simpletivity25 because you deserve to work without feeling overwhelmed.